that again. It's so good. Let's go ahead and do that one again now that I messed it up. And we are live. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. It is cold today here in the Midwest. So I am snuggled, extra layers here in my office and I have my blanket. So if I end up pulling it out, you all know why. Welcome. I am Terry Ann Porter, life coach, TA. It is time to defeat those lies of negative self-talk by changing your perspective, exploring new possibilities, seeking out those new pathways onto which you can choose to proceed in truth. And as always, my co-host, the amazing, the effervescent, the wildly newly published Sherry Berger.
Hey, I have coffee. Forget the blanket. I got coffee.
Okay.
I thought you did that intro for me so I could.
So I wanted to see you dance.
For those of you that don't know me, I am Sherry Berger, and I am the owner of Here to There Consulting, and we educate business owners with those tools to balance life, business, and finances so that you can have the success and the growth and the leadership that you want, not only in your business, but in your life, to help you create the life and business that you deserve. Welcome this morning. Yes, it is such a cold, crazy day. And I don't have a jacket on. Look, I got short sleeves.
You noticed this.
I know. I was going to grab my jacket this morning and I didn't. But my office is always a little bit cold. So it's too funny because I shut my office door a lot so the dogs don't go in and out. So, but what can you do when things like being cold happen, Terry Ann? Because today we're going to talk about you can't control what happens, but you can control your response. So today is cold. I'm talking, what is the degree outside? It is.
I looked a minute ago and it said
6 degrees.
6 or 7. Ooh.
6 degrees. Now, what can you do? You could wear layers. You could bring your blanket. If you're smart, you have coffee, Terry Ann. Coffee. And look, it even has Mickey on it. Come on.
The hot tea, I tell you, warm up that tea. Oh.
You know there's coffee in that cup.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
All right. We'll find out. We're going to have to get together and find out.
Right. In the morning, you got coffee. In the afternoon, you do your tea. That's okay. I've been drinking the last couple of days quite a bit of tea because what did we do? We went from 70 degrees to...
It was 30, the next day. Oh, that was something, quite a drop.
So I just said, I don't think I need all this caffeine. So I have decaffeinated tea, decaffeinated coffee. What the heck would you even do that for? So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. We want to welcome everybody here. So is there any times in your life when things happen that you don't like and you have to control how you respond, Terry Ann?
Oh, I find most of the time the things, and it's taken a long time for me to start to get it under control. It's not fully under control. Typically what gets me is something unexpected. Sometimes even an unexpected conversation or response from someone. Someone will make a comment or something that to me, I am totally not prepared for. And my response used to just be, whatever is there comes out. I'm maybe it's my old age. I'm not sure, but I'm slowly getting to where I'm stopping to say, no, hold that back. Don't respond. Wait. And so I'm learning how to hold off some responses.
Well, I don't know about you, but there's been times, of course, I was actually at a writer's group last night and we did a relaunch. And sometimes I can be a little Sherry. You're like,
a
what?
Little Sherry?
Yeah, get a little charismatic. And I'm really, what is it called? About whatever I'm talking about. And so I was afraid maybe I came up as abrupt. But I know there are times I respond with I interact with other people. And I'm like, man, that person is just a little too abrupt or too whatever or too. And you know what? Sometimes we have to, what'd you just say? Keep our mouth shut, look back and do more observation. Is that the right word? Observation of what they're doing to find out maybe they don't mean to come across that way. Because I know this morning, that's what I was telling you, is I was like, I didn't know what to do. Because the people that knew me knew that I was trying to be encouraging and supportive, but I'm afraid the people that didn't know me might have took me different. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, how is that a learning thing? Because I know for a fact there's been some people, because those first impressions really matter. Right? But there's been people that I get those first impressions from that aren't even true. And if you made that response that you're thinking when the person says or does, or if they're having a bad day, if you make that response, you can't take that back. But if you stop and you observe, and I think in Toastmasters, we've learned that a lot, Terry Ann, because we've worked with people or we've had people in a club and then we've never been on team with them. And then we're on a team with them. And then when we maybe first meet them, we're like, wow, just wow. You just are not my kind of person. And then when you find out what their heart is and you find out who they really are, you go, wait a minute. You're different than me. You act different than me. You respond different than me, but you're pretty amazing. And so it's all about, I think when you're interacting, I think people sometimes are the most difficult to interact with. Think about that. But it's how you respond to them. And then, you know, I think I was talking to you too, that some people just have boundary violation problems. I don't know if they mean to or if they don't. And why are we trying to figure out why they're doing what they're doing versus how we get to choose? Did you hear the word choose? To respond. We get to choose. And yeah, learning to breathe and think. I think you and I are a lot alike. We sometimes just say exactly what we think at times. And that works with some people. I love Terry Ann because and I think Terry Ann loves me because I'll do that because we don't have to. What is it called? But that's different when we're interacting. But when we're interacting with other people, that might not work so much. See what I'm saying? So your close friends or people that get your heart, if you just say, hey, blah, 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 they just go, wow, okay, Terry Ann, or okay, Sherry, you know what I mean, and move on. But other people could take you wrong.
You have to get to.
We have Marinella on here.
I see Marinella. Hello there, Marinella. Good morning.
Do you ever have situations that you can't control, Marinella, but you can control how you respond? So we're talking about that this morning. So we would love to hear about, or anybody else that's out on the audience, right? What they do.
The thing in relationships is we have to learn the person's heart and intent, because it's real easy to come up with that, as you said, that first impression. But you need to get to know them to understand. And what I've started to try to do is that thing that you said that hurt me, or that you did that hurt me, was it your intention to hurt me? If it was not your intention to hurt me, then just a mistake on both our parts. Gosh, after 60, sometimes you can look at things a little differently. Unfortunately, why did it take that long for me to start to look at it that way? But many events in life. 25 years ago, I went to work one day, a wife. I went home that night, a widow. Total change of circumstances. Can't control it. The only thing to control there is response. Life throws things at us out of the blue. We've talked a lot about the pandemic, so I'm trying to think of different ways, even outside the pandemic, that we've had to look at. Because we did a lot of things outside of that happened to us through the last 2 years. What are some other things that have happened?
So the day the world, at least, we did shut down here in Kansas City, I had slamming doors because I had a senior in high school. School had gotten canceled. All her stuff was being canceled. Prom got canceled. I don't even know. Same day, my bank account. I've never had my bank account got hacked. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm dealing with a bank account. Same time that my daughter is slamming doors and running around the house. And I'm just wanting to scream. But let me ask you, in that situation, if I scream, how is that going to fix the bank account? How's that fixing the kid? And then don't worry, from there, we all know it kept snowballing because I had clients freaking out. I had clients that were supposed to sign with me that didn't sign, or I had to pivot or fix, and then after a while, I don't even know, maybe it was a week, maybe it was a couple days, I realized I needed some self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I was too busy putting out everybody else's fires that I realized. So when you bring up that pandemic, same thing with coming home and becoming a widow after 20, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, waking up and coming home 25 years ago and becoming a widow. I know Marinella can definitely relate with that because, when my brother died in the Pentagon.
Oh, yeah.
That just happened. But we didn't even know for sure if he was gone or not because he never got identified. But that day that we woke up, 9/11, life just happened. It was a situation when I was invited to a baby shower where some people that I didn't see for more than 20 years, I just pretended I was nice because the situation required my best behavior. Yeah.
And so, deciding, and I like that. It was the decision. My response will be best behavior.
Well, because now how the other people act in that situation, you can't control. And so you just decide who you want to be in that situation. Same thing with when tragedy happens, like we talked about 9/11, you talked about losing a spouse 25 years ago. And then, what was I going to say, in this pandemic? And even now, we've had to choose to respond. But really, as you have responded through this pandemic, let me ask you something. Hasn't good things came out of the pandemic?
I think a lot of good things have come out of it when people got past the initial, oh my gosh, paralysis response and took charge of how they were going to handle it. I think a lot of people said, okay, I can't do this. I can't control this. What can I do? And then a lot of businesses started to do that. A lot of individuals started to do that. And even now, as things are changing, for example, one response right now, a lot of mask mandates are dropped. But if you see Reed and myself, you will more than likely see us with a mask. Our choice.
Yeah, but it's a choice.
Our choice to respond to the situation in that manner.
Now, I do see that people are not liking it when businesses are making choices, like that they might mandate a mask, even though it's not mandated. They have a right to do that just as much as you have a right to wear a mask if you want
right.
to. Now I will say what she was saying, exactly what Marinella just said, after being invited to a baby shower and haven't seen people for 20 years. How about we're invited to a pandemic? Oh, wait, we're not invited. We're in a pandemic, like a bubble. And yet we're wanting to criticize and argue with people if they get vaccinated or not, or masks or not. You know what I mean? It's your response in the situation. You don't even have to agree with the situation.
Right.
I mean, you might be on the stage that everybody needs. I don't even want to go there. We're not going to talk about it, but how did it all? It's how you respond to those people that have a difference. This is a great scenario. They have a different view of the situation than you do.
And do you ever?
We're not saying that they're right by the way you respond, but if you respond in hate, how are you ever? You know what I mean? How are you ever gonna solve whatever the problem is?
Do you ever look at a situation and you see somebody's response and it's not the kind of response you think they should be having? And so now you want to argue with them. I guess, okay, where's my mind? Here's where my mind is going. Here's where my
mind. Want to know.
Oh my gosh, the ping pong balls are going. Look out when the ping pong balls get started. No, I'm thinking back, and I can't even think of specific situations, but it was at a time in my life where I responded to everything as just, it was utter chaos and just always a crisis. And I would see other people in that situation just very calm and going through it in a very calm manner. And my first thought is, well, you're not taking it very serious. Look how calm you are. Now I'm trying to make them feel what I'm feeling. Can't do that. I should have tried to. Sometimes I look back and I think if I had handled that the way they handled it, but I didn't. Over the years, I've grown and learned. And now I look back and go, oh my gosh, my response at that time was really, really bad. But I can't change it. I can't change what happened. So all I can do now is say, how am I going to handle this? And if you don't understand the way I'm handling it, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. And a lot of people pleasing comes into my responses in the past. I have to respond this way in order for people to think that I care. Response goes so many ways.
It is true. Response can go a lot of ways, but we get to choose our attitude. Every day we wake up, look what Marinelle just put. We'll just take it day by day, take a breath and get along with you day by. My favorite quote is, tomorrow is another day.
Yes.
And if you really, don't know who
tomorrow's another day,
Christians or not, but if you have your trust in God in the end, all things will work out for his good. All things. You're like, wait a minute, I was a widow. Wait a minute, I think you've even been divorced. I've been divorced. I've been a single parent. I've been abused. I've been blah. I get that. Believe me, I get that. Right? I've had all the.
Mm-hmm.
But what'd you just say? You see other people in that same situation who are more calm because they're trusting.
Yes.
They're trusting their storms. But you know what? I bet you might see them be calm, but there are probably times they're not calm. So even saying I should be more like, I think that's not you know what I mean? Maybe you want to be more like that in certain situations, but you still need to have time to vent, time to process, time to, it's okay to not be okay, if that makes sense. That's one of my favorite sayings, Marinella, is it's okay to not be okay. Because sometimes we think we need to always be okay. Now, that does not mean go out in public. Gerald used to tell me, you're not streetable. Don't go nowhere.
I like that.
So when you're not streetable, don't try to be streetable. But there should be a balance there, right? There should be a balance of having friends and people that you can. And I'm not saying don't be transparent and don't be real, but nobody wants to hear all your problems. And nobody wants you to walk around a naysayer, right? That's just not, like I said, you get to choose your attitude. If you have to go hang out with people that aren't exactly kind or nice, that's okay. But then go back and hang out with kind and nice people. Sometimes I may look calm on the outside, but But you know what? I like this video I watched one time. So the guy was going to Starbucks before he went to work, or coffee shop. It doesn't even matter where you were going. That's not the point of the story. And another guy cut in front of him and grabbed a cup of coffee before him. He was so mad. Another guy cut him off in the traffic. All these things happened. But then when you looked at the little clouds, when you went back and you rewatched it, one guy, his wife was in the hospital, so he's trying to grab coffee to get there before she, died. Or another guy, all these other things were going on in all these other people's life that you thought they were being rude to you. One guy backed up and almost hit, somebody on a bike. Or so sometimes we're like, oh, that person just cut me off. Oh, that person just got in front of me at McDonald's or Starbucks or wherever the heck you are. Oh, that person. Do you know what's going on in that person's life? You have no idea And wait a minute, when have you been that person? I've actually cut people off without meaning to. And by the way, I am one of these, I don't know. I have friends that like to go over the speed limit. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people, if I ever, I think I might have, I don't even remember how many speeding tickets I've had in my life. I'm one of those people that try not to break the rules. So if I get a speeding ticket, my poor husband will get a phone call and I'll be bawling. I think I've gotten a little better about it. And he'll be like, "You're crying. I can't understand you." And then I'll be like, "Well, okay, you didn't get in a wreck. You just got a speeding ticket. Take a breathe." Or if I got in a wreck, he'll be like, "Well, are you okay?"
Just avoid rush hour, Sherry.
Oh, okay. Nothing's good out in the country. Just avoid rush hour. There you go. We used to do that, though, didn't we, Terry? And you and I work corporate America. And sometimes you'd either want to leave early, or if you were already late, if you didn't have to worry about babysitting. Sometimes I had to worry about babysitters. A lot of people would just stay late so that they could drive. You know, when we're driving from downtown, do you remember? You remember people did that. That's funny. They'd either try to leave early or they end up having to stay late.
Marinella got away with just a warning. She was good.
Yeah, but she was going 72 on a 70. Come on.
But like you said, though, you were talking, you don't know what's going on, why they cut you off, why they grabbed that coffee before you. Again, it's looking at the intent. Did that person say, "Oh, there it is. There's Sherry. I don't like her. I'm just going to cut her off." No. And that's where we take it personal.
Yes.
Situations happen around us and we take it personal. And that's the hard part. It's not personal. Look at the situation, look at it for what it is, and then determine your response. So the problem is it's an instantaneous thing, but there's actually several steps to it. How do we go through all those steps?
Well, sometimes you just need to stop and breathe and process. So yeah. But yeah, complaining about other drivers on the road, I'm just like, can you please take the log out of your eye before you go take the speck out of theirs? Because you just don't know what's going on with them. And so I just think sometimes that can cause you a lot of unnecessary stress. But sometimes people are short with you, or sometimes people are point to you, or sometimes they're stressed out, so they're taking it out on you, or sometimes. So yeah, just to try to understand what's going on in their shoes. Well, then that could take us back to one of those favorite things. Treat somebody the way you would want to be treated. You know what I mean? If you were in that situation. Like I told you that yesterday afternoon, I worried about I got passionate about what I was trying to say, but I also didn't want to come across as being abrupt. And so I didn't mean to come across that way. But then how do you fix that if you did? And you don't even know. And so why do you think that I don't even know. Sometimes we worry about ourselves more than anybody else is thinking or talking or worrying about you. You become very me-centered. Even in that situation, I'm like, oh, what kind of impression did I make? Oh my gosh, can you just let it go and move on and not worry about it and move on? Because I really don't think they're still worried about it. How many, you know what I mean? And we do that to ourselves as well. And you're calling a little bit of people pleaser or a little bit worrying about ourselves more than other people are worrying about us. So
what are some other situations that suddenly just out of the blue come up that you can't control?
Life happens, right? I always like it. My friend Gerald used to always say, and I've stole it now, is make it a great day. Don't have a great day. Make it a great day. He used to always say, no matter what happens around you, you get to choose. Again,
I like that.
You get to choose to make it a great day. It's how you choose to respond. He used to laugh a lot, just blow things off. And what did Marinella say? But inside, you're dying. And I don't know how many times inside he was but he was choosing. Now, I will just say, I hope that if you're doing that you still can go and talk to people that are important.
Okay. And your vehicle breaks down. You're on your way to work and your vehicle breaks down.
Or you're on your way to something that you're going to be late, right? Work, it could be, I don't even know. And your vehicle breaks down. How do you handle it? So traffic. Vehicle breaking down, I haven't done this, but I will just dance in traffic and decide that I'm going to turn up the music. Of course, I like to listen to I call it getting my Jesus on. I like to listen to my Christian jam because it'll change my mindset and my perspective. Emergency, when your car breaks down, you can't always do that because sometimes you're going to run your battery down. So you can't always do that.
So you're sitting on the side of the road. What is your response? Right. Oh, gosh, I've been waiting for AAA to get here for the
I was just going to say my response is, praise God, I got AAA.
Yeah, the days that we did, but those days we didn't have a cell phone. And you had to get out and go walk for help.
Yeah, I ran out. We got shortly after we got married in '94. It's been a minute. I broke down and had no gas in my car because, you got love but no money, blah, blah, blah. I'm a college student working and my husband was so mad because I think I sat an hour and a half and no AAA, no cell phone, and I had to wait for somebody else to come so I could call. And guess what? I got emergency cell phone back in '94. So I think we've had them. How long have they been around? So that's when I always tell everybody that's when I got my cell phone, was right after I got married, because my husband decided that was never going to happen again. He didn't think his wife sitting on the side of the road was a good idea. But now it doesn't happen because everybody has cell phones. You got to wait for that trucker guy to come by that has the one that was hooked to his car or whatever. Oh my God, we are spoiled. I don't know what I would do without a cell phone. Exactly. But what would we do without? Oh, did you hear that new cars aren't putting spare tires in the back of the car?
I know they're not. Mileage. My sister was on the side of the road one day with the flat tire, and we were on our way home from some event. We pulled over. We said, "Well, Reed says, well, I'll change your tire." There was no spare tire in there.
I know. I heard that. I am not okay with that. I have to have a backup plan.
Yeah. That was amazing to learn.
So that's the thing to say. When you buy a new car, make sure you got a spare tire. And if you don't, tell them that they better give you some extra money to go buy one. But they're trying to do it so they can say it's better gas mileage or something. Because I heard my younger daughter-in-law doesn't have, I don't even know. My husband was telling me.
I don't understand that.
Like, I don't know. I drive old cars. So I think we're almost at the top of the hour. But I have a huge announcement, or maybe you have a huge announcement.
You have an announcement? Would you like to make? Sherry, what exciting thing has happened in your life? Tell me about it.
My book just got launched on Amazon. So, yay, I'm an actual author now. So my book has been launched on Amazon. So we can put that down below. And I have a book launch coming up March 30th to get autographs. So I'd like for you to attend that. But if you can't attend, you can go out on Amazon and you can order my book now because it is literally live on Amazon. But I will have books too on March 30th. But if you order a book, you can bring it too and I'll autograph it. So there you go. Those are all the exciting things. And my book, we ran out of time, but I'm going to let you know, my book did not go the way I wanted it to go, Terry Ann.
It didn't?
No, I wanted perfect. By the end of the year. I wanted the new year, new whatever. I had all these expectations. And now what is it? Mid-February? And don't worry, it will be here. Book launch March 30th, so I can order books and do all that. I wanted to make sure it was out far enough. March 30th. Guess what? We get to spring into action with my book instead of the new you and new year.
Oh, I like that. Spring into it.
Sometimes it's not our timing. Sometimes it's God's timing, right? So by the time I got it through editing and all the fun, and I've been killing myself since July, and before that I was writing it. But my book, first book ever, yay, 2/22. That is exactly when it got published.
Yes, 2/22/22. Yes.
I had no idea. That's when it went in. I didn't know.
Congratulations.
Today. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even realize that today. It was. Yesterday it went live. Yesterday it got published on 2/22. See? Marinella said, see, it's God's timing. That is awesome. Terry Ann, I didn't even tell you that this morning. Did you realize that?
I didn't.
Yeah,
No, I didn't even put together the date. I think that is awesome. Yes.
that is awesome. It wasn't
No.
even planned. There you go.
Congratulations. Hey, let me tell you what we're going to be doing in March.
Yeah. Can you?
Because,
February
we
is
like to do
over?
themes. We like to do themes. February's theme was change your perspective and see new possibilities. Well, in March, all this March Madness stuff. Let's bring excitement
March Madness
to your
stuff.
business and life. Bring
Excitement.
excitement to your business and life. That's what's coming up in March. Thank you all for joining us. Until next week.
Next Wednesday at 9:30. And go make it a great day.